Hi everybody, it's Amy. Today we're going to be doing this look, so let's get started. We are going to pull this information from Pinterest, and it's just a look that I found that I loved, so let's get started. First off, before you do any type of makeup, I always like to tweeze first. You can usually do it after you get out of the shower, but I usually do it right before I put my makeup on, and every day I do it, so that way I'm keeping up on it. Next, we're going to go ahead and put some Maybelline Dream Fresh BB cream on, just to moisturize our face and prep it for makeup. And yes, that is my daughter in the background. She was upset she couldn't be in the filming. You'll see her throw a fit here in a minute. So I definitely like to just rub it all over my face. It is a little tinted, so it does add a little bit of color, but not a lot. So you'll see that I'm just putting it in different portions of my face. And then coming up here, you will see that I use two different foundations. I use Laura Mercier and I use Rimmel London, and they're both matte colors. One's a little bit thicker than the other, so I use it in Classic Beige, and then I use it in Sunny Beige for Laura Mercier. And what I do is I actually put the Rimmel London on first, and then I will kind of put it in different sections of my face, and then I'll come back through on the second side and kind of put the other one. So here's me putting the Rimmel London. It's a little bit lighter, it adds a little bit of a tint to it. I do live in Arizona, so during the summer I am a little bit tanner than I am. And then what we're going to do now is just buff it out. So we're just going to make sure we're spreading it all over the face and getting it to an even tone. I'm just using a foundation brush here and just blending that all out. And then I do like to put a little bit of powder on top of it, just to kind of set it. So I use the L'Oreal True Match, and I also use a concealer, and it's in the shade 8 from Makeup for Forever, and I just dab it on the bottom of my lashes line here. And then the way that I like to do my makeup is I go from the top of my face down. For me, it just makes it easier for me. So here I am shaping my brows, and I don't show it here, but I do use the Anastasia of Beverly Hills in Ebony, and it's the Brow Powder Duo, and I'm just using her brush that comes with that as well. I find that if I shape my brows, my look is a little bit better, and I kind of fill them in a little bit. As you can see, I do have really dark hair, but I also have a lot of gray hair, so I fill my brows in a lot because I do have a little bit of gray coming through my eyebrows now as well, so I do kind of fill that in. So in this tutorial, I am just going to show one eye at a time as I'm going through it. So we are going to go ahead and shape the other brow here. And again, brows are mismatched and shaped differently, each one is. So definitely make sure that when you're building your brows out that you're getting them symmetrical and looking the same. And you do mess up sometimes, so just clean it up with a Q-tip. Alright, so now that we're getting the brows pretty much shaped to what we want them to look like, we are going to use the Naked 3 palette, and I believe I used 4 different shades in there. You can look in the description below to see which shades I used, but we're going to go ahead and start with the top shade here in just a moment. And again, just making sure that you comb through that powder so it doesn't look like you painted your eyebrows on. Blend it out just a little bit here. Alright, here's our Naked 3 palette. And the colors you can find in the description below of what we used. So we are going to start with, I believe, the lightest color in the palette, and we're just going to put that all over our eye, kind of build our base up. And I am using a brush that I just got in my Birchbox, and it is from Coastal, and you can find the link to them in the description below. I really like this brush. I actually use it on my entire tutorial. So this is the third shade that I'm using. It's a little bit, I'm using all shimmery shades. The entire palette is kind of shimmery, but I am using all of the shimmery, kind of metallic, glittery looking shades. So this is the third shade that I'm putting on. And then I am building up right above the lash line to make it really shimmery there. In the picture that you can see, it's really shimmery along there. And then this is just an e.l.f. brush that I picked up from Target, and I am just building out the corners so we can add a little bit of definition on there. And then I am using 3 different kind of eyeliners. So my favorite right now is Rimmel London Scandal Eyes. That's the one I'm using right now. I like the feel of it. The brush is felt, and it feels like I'm writing with just just a highlighter or a marker to kind of come through and build that. You can build your eyeliner out a lot thicker. I should have done it a lot thicker, but as I was going through it, I kind of didn't want to mess my makeup up. I'm not the best at eyeliner, so I definitely kept it as thin as I could going through it, but you definitely want to start from the outside corner and then build it in. And then here it is with the other eye. And then I like to come back in with another eyeliner, and you can find the description of which ones I used, just to kind of build out and be a little bit more precise when I'm going to the inner corner of my eye. And then I noticed that I wanted a little bit more shimmer, so I kind of came back through with that Naked 3 palette and built up just a little bit more shimmer right above the crease, or excuse me, above the eyeliner. So then I am going to go ahead and line the bottom of my lashes, and with just a black pencil, that pencil that I just showed, it's very, very thick and it's very creamy. So just be careful with it. That's why I add it on with a angled brush, because it's a little bit easier to put on. Next, we are going to go ahead and contour our face. So we're going to use our Hoola contouring bronzing powder, and that brush right there is just from e.l.f. It's really cheap, but it works and does the job. So we're just going to build it out with our cheekbones and kind of add some definition underneath our chin. And then we're going to come up and kind of build that around our temples and above our eye. Adds a little bit more focus on your eyes and your middle center of your face. Then we're going to use our Laura Mercier blush, and you can find which one I used it in the description below. I love that one. I just currently bought it. It's kind of a perfect shade for summer. It's really rosy, and it kind of adds just a little bit more. It's a little lighter than the bronzing powder, so it makes it add a little combination together. It's really good. Then we're going to curl our lashes here, and tip of the trick is actually warm it up with either a blow dryer or warm up it next to a heating tool. That way you're adding a little bit of heat to your lashes, but not getting them super hot. Just be really careful. And I use 2 mascaras. I use a Neutrogena one and a Maybelline Illegal Length. Fiber Extensions is probably my favorite mascara. I've used it for the last year and I love it. And then lastly, we're just going to put our lipstick on, and it's Bare Minerals. And again, those are from my most recent Birchbox or my Ipsy information that I get in the mail. And there you go. There's the final look for you guys. And for an added bonus, I am going to do my hair for this. I wasn't going to, but I kind of looked a little unfinished. So let's go ahead and show you how I did my hair. We're just going to do a simple updo. Here in the valley, it's very hot already, so we're just going to go ahead and put our hair up. Kind of a messy bun. And so what I like to do is actually gather it on top of my head, and I use a really thick hair tie, and it's kind of a rubber hair tie, so it holds my really thick hair in place. So what I do is I just grab it from the back, and then I clump it on top, as you can see there. And then I just wrap it around, and then all I do is play with it. You can bobby pin it in, you can kind of play with the different layers of it and kind of pull things out and kind of make things bigger. And so that's what I did here in order to make that come through. And then I like to do just a little bit of shining serum in it, just on the top, just to kind of gloss it over and kind of add some to the end, so the ends are kind of glossy. And then lastly, I like to spray it with just a little bit of hairspray, not a lot. You want it to look messy. So you just add it on here in just a moment. All right, and then here's the hairspray. Just use Aussie hairspray. And then there you go, there's your final look. So there's the look from one side. You can dress it up and really put some big earrings in or kind of add some jewelry and things like that, so it's added a little bit more if you want to dress it up a little bit. But again, if you're just hanging out around the house, it's probably the best look for you. All right, guys, thank you so much.